today I'm going to be sharing with you my content to cash strategy so that you may be able to do the same in your business. My strategy is the 5-day challenge. So, for those of you who are not familiar with what a 5-day challenge actually is, here's a quick overview, and then we're going to go through and look at some of the examples of this. So, before I dive in, I'll give you a quick backstory on how I used this, and then we'll talk a little bit more about those pieces involved and why they're important. So, when I first decided to really aggressively start marketing my business online, ultimately, it was when I started my business. I already knew that was an important piece of it. And so, one thing that I wanted to do was to educate people, to get them involved in understanding the content. Education-based marketing is something that I focus on really heavily anyway, and it's something I have focused on for almost 10 years now. So, it was a very natural fit for me. My services were courses, agency services, and eventually a group mentorship. In almost all of those, one of the best indications of who may be a good fit is if they have an interest in learning more about these things. The agency services may be a little bit less because that's something that you're doing for someone. But for a course or for a group mentorship or group coaching or anything of that nature, where they actually need to put in some of the work, the best indication is someone who's willing to put in the work. And so joining a 5-day challenge is a really great way to tell, hey, this person is interested in not just learning, but actually doing as well. So I decided to put on my very first 5-day challenge. This was several years ago. And I did it 100% organic. And I actually did my first several very organically. When I first started doing these, I did not put a huge emphasis on it because I wasn't launching anything. It was really just something to continue to grow my audience and also to grow a Facebook group. I started a Facebook group because I saw the power of having a group and having people that were learning from you and communicating with you on a more personal level. And I thought it was brilliant. The truth is, I didn't really have an interest in trying to grow the group by spending a lot of time, but it was a perfect way to integrate what I was doing in my marketing with building that group. The 5-day challenge takes place inside of a Facebook group. So, in order to see the content, they have to join the group. So, I thought that was a great direction to go in. And that's really ultimately what has grown my Facebook group overall. I have a group because of my 5-day challenges, essentially. And so, that's something that is also a really strong added benefit. So, the first time that I put extensive effort into this 5-day challenge was really probably about a year and a half ago at this point. I had put in quite a bit of organic effort into my 5-day challenges in the past, but this one was different because I was launching my group program, my group mentorship. I already knew that 5-day challenges had worked for me in the past. I had spent zero money promoting them and I'd made tens of thousands of dollars. And it may not have been anything earth shattering, but it was definitely a very strong return on investment. I didn't need a lot to cover my return on investment because I didn't spend any money to actually get those people into this 5-day challenge. The group program launch was very different because I had a goal. I had an open cart date. I had a start date for the actual program. So I wanted to get as many people as humanly possible into this program without spending a ton of money because I just wanted to make sure that this is something I wanted to continue to do moving forward. If this group program launch didn't go as planned, I wasn't necessarily going to put all my effort into growing that. So I wanted to first test the concept before I dumped a lot of money into it. So I think that this is a great thing for anybody listening. You can test things organically before you spend on paid ads, but, and this is a very important but, you have to make sure you're even connected with the right types of people first. So, a very important piece of this, if you're going to be doing this content to cash strategy and plan on spending no money on advertising, there's a couple of things that you're going to want to do. I'm not going to have time to go in depth into all of them right now, but luckily, I do actually have some videos on these topics on my YouTube channel. Look me up, Allie Bloyd Media. You can learn more about those if you still need step-by-step instructions. But ultimately, you want to join groups where your ideal avatar exists. So the people you're trying to sell to, what Facebook groups are they involved in? Then you want to get actively involved in the group. That does not mean pitching. That does not mean DMing everyone and spamming them with your services. It means genuinely engaging, responding to questions thoughtfully and intentionally, sharing your expertise with the audience without an expectation that they're going to buy from you. The more you do that, the more traffic you're going to drive to your personal profile, the more people will friend request you. And then on the flip side, you need to be adding those people from the group as friends to your personal page. If you're not spending money on advertising, that personal page becomes really, really important. And so you want to make sure that your offer, whatever that is, that you have the right types of people on the list who would even be interested in it. Otherwise, this will not work. So just let me be clear about that. If you've got all your friends from high school as Facebook friends and you try this, it's not going to work the same way because they have zero interest in what you do unless your business sells to those exact type of people. However, they haven't necessarily shown an interest in that part of their life or business. So just something to think about. You want to make sure the right people exist first. And this doesn't have to take a long time, but you do need to be intentional about it for a week, 2 weeks, whatever, because you've got 5,000 friends that you can add to your list. You want to make sure those are people that can help you grow your business ultimately. So once you have the right types of people, there's a couple of different things that you can do organically to get them in this challenge, which we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. But now that we're kind of up to speed on, well, why I was utilizing this strategy at all and what I was using it for, let's talk about kind of the logistics and the different pieces that are actually happening in this 5-day challenge. So 5-day challenge is 5 days. Each day, you're teaching this audience something different. You're sharing a piece with them that is a smaller, more consumable chunk. And then you're giving them action items, their homework. This is a challenge. This isn't a webinar where they just learn. This is something that you actually want people to take action. People who take action are much more likely to buy, okay? 100%, especially if there is an element of them doing something themselves in what you're offering. You want people who will take action. So it's focused on 5 days. All of those trainings are between 30 minutes and sometimes 45. I try and keep them at 30 minutes. And so ultimately, they're consuming quite a bit of content from you. Well, studies show that the more time someone spends looking at your face, hearing your voice, and learning from you, the easier it will be to close them. So that's a huge benefit of this strategy. But you're also not overwhelming people on one day. You're spreading it out and you're allowing them to take this homework and to create quick wins. I think that's one of the biggest benefits is they start to see themselves implementing the information and actually seeing a change and getting really excited, which is what you want someone to be doing. All you truthfully need in terms of technology is a Facebook profile and a Facebook group. If you do not have a funnel or a landing page or anything like that, don't worry about it yet. Set up the Facebook group. And then on your custom questions, you want to ask them, what's your email address? What's your name? And what's your business? Why do you want to join this challenge? Or if it's a consumer business, then ask them a question related to what you do. Why do they want to join this? There is going to be some time spent collecting all that information, putting it in a spreadsheet, because you want to use this to build your list, but you do not have to go through really extensive tech setup to make this happen. You want to try and get a custom URL for that Facebook group so that it's easy for you to remember and send to people. And then the next step after you've already added people as friends and you're engaging with people who could be potential prospects on a decently regular basis, now we actually want to start promoting this 5-day challenge. So now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so that we can take a look at some of the ways that I have used organic content on my personal Facebook profile to actually grow this 5-day challenge audience. So let's hop right over here. And I have a dozen examples. I really have way more than that, but this is a great opportunity for you guys to see a couple of them. So this is actually something that is in my organic growth quick start course, all of these different post ideas. So I'm just going to show you a few. The first thing that you want to understand about promoting something organically is to remember that you need to start engaging before you start promoting. The Facebook algorithm and Instagram algorithm, they actually look at your engagement over a series of weeks. And if people are engaging with you heavily, they're going to be more likely to show your future content to that audience on the timeline or the news feed. So even if it has nothing to do with what you're actually going to be promoting or talking about in your 5-day challenge, you want to start posting things that will get people to engage. This is a really simple one that anybody can use. I cannot work in silence. What's your favorite thing to listen to while you work? This concept is asking people to share their opinion with you, and people love to give their opinion. So ask for it. Ask for the engagement. Then this is one that is an example of a lead magnet post that we are then going to use to get people into the challenge. So it says, I just finished my Facebook targeting checklist for home improvement and real estate pros. Drop an emoji below to get it. 173 comments. Okay, so the reason I show you this one is for a couple of different reasons. Number one, this is a niche specific post. This works best for a niche specific challenge, obviously. Not all of my challenges have been niche specific. I work with local businesses specifically, local marketers specifically, but I do have an audience that are kitchen and bath businesses, remodelers, things like that. So I have had specific challenges for those audience members. If you do something like this, make sure it lines up with your challenge because that's going to give you the best result. But clearly, I had a lot of kitchen and bath or remodeling businesses on my friends list. Otherwise, this would have fallen totally flat. If you're putting something out for an audience that's never going to see it, people just aren't going to respond to that. Let's take a look at a couple of others. As you can see, I really like the colored background with the text. What you have to do for those is you've got to keep it really short and sweet. You only have so many characters before that colored background is no longer an option. But if it is a short text or asking for engagement, this is 100% the best way to go. So fill in the blank. People who brag online are blank. 78 comments, people just wanting to share their opinion. This was a really successful lead magnet post. And the coolest thing about this is you don't even have to have the lead magnet created. I've made these to test what people would think about them before I create them. And I even just say things like, I'm thinking about creating this. Drop a comment if you'd be interested in getting it for free. So if nobody's showing engagement, I'm not going to spend my time making that thing. This one was something that I already made for an unrelated reason, but that I wanted to leverage for this challenge. Okay, so this was one of those that was, preceding one of our challenges. And it says, I just made the coolest spreadsheet to formulate Facebook ad budget breakdowns in 2.3 seconds. No more spending blindly. Drop your favorite emoji to get a copy before I start charging for it. 257 comments. So now the question is, we've got these engagement posts asking for opinions and thoughts and fill in the blanks and true or falses and all of that good stuff. And then we've got these lead magnet style posts. Well, what's next? So the engagement posts, those are just to build up your engagement on the platform so that when you start promoting and getting ready to launch this challenge, you're going to have an audience that's going to see your content without you having to spend for it. These are a little bit different. So I'm actually asking people if they want this thing. So what we do is we send it to them in Messenger. You're going to want to keep this in mind for all of your content, but the more that people are commenting on your post, the more it bumps it up in the algorithm. So with anything like this, you want to respond to comments in small groups, 5 or 10 comments at a time. You do not want to comment on all of them or respond to all of them at the same time. You want to do it in batches so your content's constantly being pushed up to the top of the newsfeed. So what we'll do is we'll go through, we'll do about 10 at a time, depending on how many we have. Then we're going to say like, awesome, check Messenger. Awesome, sent this to you in Messenger. Great, I'll send this over in Messenger. So same thing, but a variation. You don't want to copy and paste the exact same thing. Then we send it in Messenger and we say, hey, here's a link to the spreadsheet you asked for. I really hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, let me know. By the way, I'm going to be hosting a 5-day challenge covering something just like this on Facebook ads for beginners. We'll cover budgeting in that challenge. If you want to sign up, let me know. And if they say, yeah, you can send them the Facebook group link. Or if you have a landing page, you can actually send them to the landing page. So if you want to actually promote the challenge in the lead magnet itself, that's another option. Put a piece of text that says, sign up for now for my free 5-day challenge, click here, or you could give them the URL to go to. That is also another option, but I'd still tell them about it manually because you're going to be in a conversation with them anyway. So this is a great opportunity to start conversations in Messenger. Let's take a look at a couple others. I want to see if I can find something that is a little bit different. So this is one just about, volunteer work. This is one that's just, about my life and my vacation and me and my daughter. So it doesn't have to be anything specifically about your business. This one is a video talking about different results for my clients over the last couple months. So this is a great way to get people watching the video, but also to make sure that they're very clear on what you do. So this is another one about results. That's something you really want to talk about. Another video, I actually got a speaking engagement off of this. Then just promoting the great things that are going on in your life and business. That's important. You want people to see those things. So just quite a wide variety of content types. Now let's take a look at the actual challenge itself. So this is from my last challenge, and this is day 1 of the challenge, okay? So again, we have topics that we cover each day. This one had a 685 post reach. So I have, over 2,200 people in this group. Almost 100% of that is from doing challenges, if I'm honest. And this reached about a third of them. So we've got 42 likes and 133 comments on that day 1. Okay. So I'm going to scroll through, and these are not actually in order right now. Normally I do pinned posts. I mark these as announcements. And then after the challenge is over, I actually take them out of the group. I'll upload them to YouTube or something else, but I want people to actually participate during the challenge because that's like the selling cycle. So I don't want them to think they're always going to be around, and they're normally not. So I saved these for this specific reason so that we could go back and look at them. So this is day 2. So we've got drop a live or a replay, and then we've got the homework. And then we tell them about the next day. So this one had 75 comments. Let's see if this is day number 5 actually. So this one also had 75 comments. And this is the first time that I really dive deep into what I'm offering. So you want to mix in and sprinkle in the content that relates to what you actually want to sell them. So if I'm talking about a course, I'm going to, throw in little tidbits and details about the course throughout that 5-day challenge. But day 5 is really where you want to talk all about it, because people who've made it to the end, they're very qualified prospects at that point. So make sure that you very intentionally pitch what you're offering and tell them what to do next. The next thing that you want to do is give them a very specific reason to show up to day 5, if nothing else, because you actually want them to see that pitch. So what I do is I do a giveaway, and I'll usually do a really great one. Like I gave away a 1-year scholarship, 12-month mentorship program. Somebody won an entire year of coaching for free. And I give those prizes to the people who win them. So I tell people, if you stay to the end, and you have to stay to the end, you qualify to win 1 year of free coaching and a mentorship for 12 months. So I don't do that giveaway announcement until the very end. I tell people that they need to comment. Like if you're live right now, this is what you got to do. You have to comment right now, so I know that you're watching this. And then we are going to scroll through and have somebody close their eyes and pick out who's going to be the winner. So that really encourages people to show up on that last day, if nothing else. And you also really want to make it a good prize so that they're going to want to stay. But then you can ensure that more people are going to hear that pitch in day 5. This was another one. This was day 3, 97 comments. So lots of great engagement. I'm going to try and see if there's any additional ones. So what we also do when we are promoting this challenge is we want to make sure that they're getting reminders about it. If you don't have an email automation or text message automation system yet, I really want to encourage you to think about that. But bare minimum, you've got to be doing that manually. You've got to make sure you remind people, you let them know it's about to start, but you let them know when you're going to go live. The more people that will show up live, the better your challenge will go. So whether it's automated or whether it is manual, you've got to do that. We have a completely automated system that's already set up. So I really don't have to do much besides just get people in the first campaign, and the rest is going to run very smoothly from there. And this is just, one of those things. It's like a live event or a webinar. If people forget, then they're just less inclined to go back after the fact and watch it. However, we do also send the replay links after each day. We send a recap of the homework. We want to make sure people are seeing those things in the formats that they prefer, whether it's through Facebook notification or email or text message. I'll just show you a couple of things from the group specifically. So this is a post in my Facebook group. I told you my Facebook group only has about 2,200 people. There are 496 comments with a 1.6 thousand post reach on this one post. It's another example of that lead magnet colored background style post. I almost reached my entire group with this post and had almost 500 comments with this post. This is one more thing to get people engaged with you, to get them consuming your content, and then you're going to be able to convert them. If no one ever consumes your content, very unlikely that they're going to close. So you want to do everything you can. This was right before one of the challenges. So again, engaging not only on your profile, but keeping people excited that have already joined the group. You want those people to make a post. You want them to say, hey, this is what I do. This is who I am. And this is why I joined the challenge. Here's what I'm most excited to learn. So as we get people joining, I'll do one of those new member welcome posts that's actually prompted for you if you're the group admin every so often, maybe like twice a week, once a week. It depends on, how far out I'm promoting this, but I tell them, welcome. So glad to have you. Take a moment. Don't comment on this post. Make your own post in the group. Tell us who you are, what you do, and what you're most excited to learn from this challenge. So again, getting them really integrated into the group and into the fabric of your community, so to speak, right away. We can also take a look at just a couple of these stats. And so you can see the growth that's happening from these challenges. So this was from November 4th to December 1st. So this is the active members. You can see those big spikes. And this is the last 28 days. I don't actually think I've had a challenge in the last 28 days. So look at this. That's challenge growth. Okay. You get so many people to join during those periods. It's very, very important. And then if you look at December 4th, 2019 to December 2nd, 2020, you can clearly see those big spikes. Those are challenges. So, 4 of those, I do them about once a quarter. That's pretty standard. It's very easy to see the growth that happens in a Facebook group. So now I've got this group. I don't have to reach those people with paid ads if I don't want to. I can really use the group as a lead generation tool in a way to get people really just, in tune with me and my business and all of that good stuff. So this is the long and short of the 5-day challenge content to cash strategy. There's a lot more that we do at this point in terms of ads, automations, all of our campaigns, and getting people to close. But this is if you don't really have money to spend on content or on ads, but you still want a really amazing content strategy. That's exactly what this is. So when I first started, I told you that I used this for that group program launch. So let me tell you what happened with that. I got hundreds of people into this challenge. I did end up spending $2,000 on ads, but only $1,000 of that was promoting the challenge. The other 1,000 was promoting the program to those challengers. So $1,000 on ad spend. I think I had 600 people in that challenge, and I made $60,000 from that initial launch. So you can see the return on investment is huge. That gave me everything I needed to know if that was something I needed to focus on significantly moving forward. It was. It's something I still do really heavily to this day. And hopefully, this has been helpful for you to see that this is something that you can do. The only thing you really need is knowledge of your subject matter, the desire to want to share that and engage with people, and the ability to just go on camera and get it done. If you're stressed out about it, the best way to do it is to just do it. You'll never get better unless you practice. And this isn't a one-hit wonder strategy. This is something you can do over and over. I've had people participate in all of my challenges, like every single one, the same person. I'm getting people that they do them time and time again because they still are interested. They still want to learn. So it's not like you have one opportunity and then nothing. If you're getting them in the Facebook group, they're going to see you more and more, and you can practice and you can do live videos and you can really become that person that is committed to educating them on this topic. So anyways, thanks so much for joining. Hope you've learned a lot.